All right, I'm with my client, Cath Knowlden of Sober Sisters, and Cath is here to share her experience of coaching and her story. So, welcome, Cath.
Thanks, Julie. Hi.
So good to have you here. Now, I know you have been having some coaching with me for quite a long time now. I think you're probably my longest standing client, which is amazing. So, why don't we start with what was life like for you before the coaching? What did it look like?
Yeah, so before the coaching, I felt a bit like an octopus on roller skates, which I know is something you talk about, you describe it so well. That's just really how I felt. I was very scattered in my thinking. I didn't have any focus. I knew I wanted to get clients. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't have the confidence. I didn't know how to put myself out there. It just all felt too scary, too overwhelming. And I was on like so many different platforms, not really knowing where I needed to focus or just how to do it.
Okay, so it was a lot going on. And if we go back even further, what were you doing before? Because you weren't always a coach. So describe to people what you were doing, what your life was like, what you were earning, things like that.
So I had a cleaning business, which I started myself because I just never felt that I fitted in a kind of typical employment situation. I wanted to work by myself. Started my cleaning business, which was great. However, I always felt that there was something inside of me that was meant for more.
Mm.
There was some pull to help people. I had so my business is Sober Sisters, so it's helping women to get and stay sober. That was a seed that I planted within myself right from the early days. So I started my Facebook group because I wanted to be amongst other women who were struggling with getting and staying sober. So I wanted to build that kind of tribe, that community, that sister support. And that's where my journey began, really. So I was spending a lot of my spare time just answering questions, giving support, helping people, being that kind of inspiration that people wanted,
Yeah.
and also getting inspiration off other people because what they put out fed me as well.
And so for you at that point, it was really a personal mission. It was something you were going through yourself, getting sober, and then you did get sober, and it really changed your life, I know. And I remember you created this Facebook group, and it was just pure passion, wasn't it? I mean, you weren't earning any money from it at the time. I don't know if you thought it could be a business, but you were creating this space for people, and you were just inviting people because it was in your heart. And you had some amazing success. You did something amazing building that community because you built it to over 1,000 people, didn't you? So tell us a little bit about that. What was that?
Yeah, it absolutely was a passion. I originally didn't have any intention of creating a business out of it. I never thought that, just thought was never there. I never thought I would be able to do that. But I remember building that group, desperately wanting to have a really busy, thriving Facebook group that was really engaged. And I wanted people to come and join. And I used to sit up late at night in my bed on my phone, just reaching out to people, asking them to come and join my group, just making those nice connections. And that's how the group sort of grew. I managed to do
Yeah,
it
yeah.
that
And
way.
how many people do you have in that group now, Kath?
Well, now we're heading towards 6,000. We're like
Amazing.
over the 5.5K mark now. So we're well on the way to 6,000.
Oh, well done. And I know that that is using the lead gen strategy that I now teach to my clients as well, which I have
Yeah.
to say originally came from you. And I kind of took it and saw the potential and tweaked it. So kudos on that. That's amazing. Now, when did you get an inkling that you wanted to start coaching and you wanted to create this business?
So this really comes back to that pull that I always felt while I was cleaning. I was doing my cleaning jobs thinking, this is okay, but it's not what I meant to be doing. And what I was doing when I was cleaning was just plugging into my podcast that I love to listen to. And they were always around personal development, on kind of leadership things and confidence and putting yourself out there. I wanted to do Facebook Lives. I wanted to talk to people. That's how I got my inspiration, and I knew that I wanted to start coaching, and I'd also seen that you were growing a really successful coaching business, and I just thought, I want that, you know.
What was it about it that was so appealing to you?
Just finding that feeling of serving, of being, knowing that I have a mission, wanting to really serve and create positive change. And help. I know what it's like to stay stuck. I know the pain, I know the heartache, and I know what it feels like to feel really alone with addiction. And I want other women to know that they're not alone. There are other options. AA isn't for everyone. There's so many ways of getting and staying sober. And I love coaching. I love being coached. I love the whole kind of results thing, the whole kind of let's do this, let's go, what's the next goal? That's always, but done in a really nice, caring, nurturing way that feels achievable.
Yeah, love it.
And I wanted to give that out. I wanted to be able to do that.
And you are now, aren't you? So let's talk about some of your results. So how many coaching clients do you currently have?
I currently have 5.
Amazing. And you have increased your prices, haven't you? So let's talk about money, because people always want to know about, income and what people are earning and stuff. So why don't you tell us what you were earning as a cleaner, and then tell us what you charged for your latest package? That would be super.
So what I was earning as a cleaner was £13 an hour. I started that on £10 an hour, and I went to 12, and then I went to 13. And that to me was a huge achievement, because I just thought, gosh, that's really hard for me to be able to increase prices. Compared to now with the coaching. So I started out with my coaching quite a low rate, and then gradually increased that, and now I'm now charging, I recently put my prices up again. I'm now charging £797 for a 2-month package.
Yes, amazing. And you had I think 1 month where you brought in 4 clients in 4 weeks, correct?
Yes.
So that's huge. So you've created some amazing results, and I know that it's really changed your life. So we'll talk about what life looks like now, how things are for you now, and then I'd like to talk about some of the struggles and challenges you had along the way, because it's not all been plain sailing, has it? And I know that people always want to know that, because it's so easy for people to look and see people's results, and but they like to hear actually some of the journey and some of the hurdles and the things that you overcame. So, but let's start with what life is like now. So how is life different for you now?
Life is so different now. I have got everything that I wanted. So like when I first started, I had this big dream of what I wanted, and it was just so much. I wanted that freedom. I wanted to work from home. I didn't want to be answering to a boss and having demanding deadlines and things like that. And so now I can choose my hours. I can choose who I work with. I get to take my dog for a walk at lunch times and go for a nice walk around the woods. I get to have a proper lunch break and just make myself a really nice meal, rather than, I remember you describing a soggy salad in a lunchbox once, and that's just how it felt to me. I'd sit in the car on a cleaning job just shoving soggy salad into my mouth. Now it's like really intentional. I can just sit and have a meal. I can just take time off if I want to. I really feel free. I really do.
That's amazing. And I know that you're getting to make a difference in people's lives, which is huge for you. And you're seeing your clients get results, and you're seeing them change their lives.
That is the biggest, the most rewarding thing, is now having had some experience of coaching clients, not really starting out with much faith in my program, but now seeing that people are doing it, they're getting the results, and it's working. And that, there's no greater feeling than seeing that spark in someone's eyes and just knowing that they're kind of moving forwards on their journey. And
And how does the extra money make a difference in your life as well? You know, what difference has that made to be earning more?
one of the things that I really wanted to do was be able to really practice conscious spending. So it's not just about having more money, it's about really looking after that money and making sure that I'm able to spend in a better way. So now it's like silly things like my dog, I can now afford to be able to have really nice food for my dog.
I don't think that's silly at all. I mean, our fur babies are so important to us, right? We want them to have the best nutrition.
Like, yeah, his health and well-being is really important to me. And like for me, I can now afford, to buy good vitamins, supportive vitamins. I love my aromatherapy oils, which, it's a bit of an extravagance, but I feel that they really support my health and well-being.
Yes.
I can now have private yoga lessons. Again, that really feeds my soul. It helps with my energy. I can do better work.
Yes.
And just little luxuries like going out now we're coming out of lockdown, I can have more meals out and things like that.
Yeah.
Not having to worry, and I can save. I've started a regular savings habit.
Wow. So it's
I paid off a lot of debt.
Okay, so it's really made a difference to you.
Yeah,
that's so good to hear. I mean, that's why I do what I do. Ultimately it's about helping women make more money, but it's who you become in the process, right? It's the person that you get to become and the influence you get to have on others and the lives you get to change. So amazing, Cath. This has been all you because you've stuck in there, you've done the work. So let's talk about what are some of the hurdles and challenges that you ran into along the way. If you think all the way back to at the beginning, tell us about that. What was that like?
Oh, I nearly gave up on this whole idea of creating this business at least a couple of times. And I know you managed to catch me and just hold that space for me. And yeah, I really let fear get in my way in the beginning. This big voice was coming up saying, who are you to do this? And what makes you think you can do this? Who's going to listen to you? And I had a huge fear about being visible, and the thought of getting on a sales call with somebody and feeling salesy, there was a lot to get my head around. But yeah, a lot of feeling very unconfident with putting myself out there.
Yeah, so there was a lot to work through. So like sales calls were a challenge. There were some limiting beliefs there. There was some limiting beliefs around money and what you could charge.
Yeah.
And yes, I remember you near the beginning. I distinctly remember a time where you were like, I'm jacking it all in. It's not for me. And I think there was about a week where you were thinking that. And I had to just kind of let you go and be like, okay, that's your choice. It's your decision. And then you kind of turned around, didn't you? So
I do actually remember that week so well. I know what it feels like to let my dream go and to sit in that horrible empty hole. And I'm not joking. I said to myself, well, what am I going to do now? I really felt empty. I felt really uninspired. I thought, what's the point of listening to my inspiring podcast when it's only for my benefit? I'm not going to be able to share that with anyone. I felt dead. I absolutely felt dead inside.
wow.
And I knew like, no, you have got to face this fear. You've got to get over this and just do it. So I did.
I didn't know you went through it that deeply. I knew you were going through some stuff and I knew you were struggling with fear, but I didn't know that was your experience. And that's amazing, really, because it shows what it would be like to give up on our dream. And I know so many entrepreneurs get to that point frequently on their journey because it can be so hard, and particularly when you're doing all the things and nothing's working and the result isn't coming quickly enough. And more than anything, it's our own fears and doubts, and then there are loved ones often in our ears saying certain things as well. So
and actually, can I just tell you about another time that I've just remembered?
Please
that
do,
I think was really helpful. So this was a little way after that, quite quite a lot further down the path, and some stuff had come up in my Facebook group. It was like some personal sort of comments that had really upset me, and I'd gone to bed and I was really thinking about this, and I was just thinking, I think I need to just stop this. I don't think I can handle this whole coaching thing. I think I'm just going to have to jack it in. And I sat with it, really. I didn't sleep very well that night, and I managed to talk myself through it that time.
Because you had some tools by then, didn't you? And I know
Yeah.
we've worked on some stuff in sessions. So that's amazing. But thank you for sharing that, because I think so many people go through this dark night of the soul in their business and they think that they're all alone, and they think there's no support, or that they have to try and figure it out by themselves. So what would you say about your experience of coaching with me? And I know you've been in both my group program, Fierce Feminine and Free, and also you've had private coaching. So perhaps you can speak to both. What's your experience been?
My experience has been that the coaching has provided a real support, a real backbone. So I know that whatever comes up in my business, whatever is there, and I don't know what to do, how to handle it, I know that I can just ask you. I know that you will know, and you will guide me through it. And I just feel, I think just knowing I have that support is crucial. The thought of going on this journey alone now, because I remember before I used to think, oh, I don't think I'll sign up for coaching again. I'll just see if I can do it on my own, because I know maybe I had been going through some money things. But if I hadn't, I know I would have still been probably back in that situation. I wouldn't really have moved further forwards, because it can take, like, your eyes, for example, to see, well, have you tried this? Or, why don't you do it this way, or try that? Or, oh no, that's not working, whatever. It takes expert eyes to sort of see the holes, see the ways through that maybe we can't see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I have loved seeing who you've become through the process of coaching. I mean, you're a different person sitting here today than the person I knew even a couple of years ago. So what was it like being in Fierce Feminine and Free in the group?
Oh, the group was lovely. I loved being amongst other women, doing it together. That felt really good. It felt fun. It felt that we were all on this kind of path to get our clients, and it was great fun. I loved that support. I loved the fact that, if we had a win, people would sort of celebrate with us. But if we were sort of like, if we had a question, or if we were a bit stuck on something, people would be there to give their input, which was really, really helpful.
Okay, so you enjoyed the group aspect. And then what do you think of the Warrioress Framework?
I love the Warrioress Framework, because for me, I love a structure. I love steps. I love it's guidance. It's simple, but it's really powerful. I know exactly what I need to work on to get the clients. I know the exact steps. I sit to my desk, I just do this thing, and I know it's going to get the results, but it will only work if I work it.
Yeah, and I mean, you've proved that to yourself over and over again, haven't you? Because there have been times where stuff's come up and you haven't done it, and then you haven't got the results, and then you've committed again and you've done it, and you've created clients.
And that's also the piece I love, is it really makes us work on ourselves, and it's our own personal development, working on our commitment. Like, how committed are we to our businesses?
Yes, and you've stepped up continually and become more consistent and pushed your own edges and grown who you are as a person. I mean, you do regular Facebook Lives in your community now, and so do you now feel that you know exactly what to do when you sit down in your business each day to work? And do you know what to do to book sales calls and get clients?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, amazing, amazing. Anything else you want to add for anyone who's maybe considering either some private coaching with me, or considering joining the Fierce Feminine and Free group, but maybe they're sitting on the fence, they're unsure, they're like, oh, I've been in a lot of programs, I could probably figure this out by myself, I don't really want to spend the money, I haven't got the money sitting there. What would you say to them?
So I used to think all of those things. I remember investing with you when I literally had, that was all that was left in my bank account. I was also overdrawn, I was in debt, but I knew I had to get clients. I couldn't do it by myself. I tried to do it by myself before, it wasn't working. I just say to anyone, stop thinking, don't think about it anymore, just get the support, join the program or the private coaching or both, because you need that support. You need to have kind of like a hand holding supportive guidance by someone that has done it and is still doing it, someone that's like building a business.
Yes.
You need that. You need that. Don't waste time. Don't waste any more time, energy, money on staying stuck. It's just not worth it.
Yeah. Amazing.
It's such a relief to get that help.
Oh, amazing, Cath. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And this might be a bit of a tricky question for the last question, because I know it's hard to see in ourselves. I mean, I can certainly see how much you've grown, but how do you think you've changed as a person as a result of going through these programs?
It's taught me to become fiercer in a kind of loving way.
Mm-hmm.
It's taught me how to really build nurturing relationships where people learn to really trust you, to know you, to feel that they can come and talk to you and that you're going to help them to find a way through. Really, it's just about the confidence, getting over those stories and just doing it.
Yeah. Amazing. And I mean, I've seen how much you've grown, and I know we're always growing. This journey is ongoing. So massive congrats on everything you've done, on all the results you've achieved, and all the people that you're now helping, and the life that you've created. I'm so proud of you and so happy for you. And I know that your story is going to inspire some people as well. So thank you, Cath. Where can people learn a bit more about you and perhaps come and join your group if they're interested to learn more?
Yeah, so I have a website, sobersisters.co.uk, or there's the Facebook group Sober Sisters. I also have Sober Sisters Rise, which is the other Facebook group where people can learn more about getting and staying sober, or they can just private message me on Facebook, Cath Knowlden.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to see what you create and where you go next.
Thanks, Julie. Thank you for your awesome coaching.
Pleasure.